Alright, so I'm just going to take you through just some of the small bugs I'm having, and I'm not sure if it has to do with my computer and or my version of Excel. I believe I have Microsoft Excel version 2011. I'm not 100% sure if that has anything to do with it again, but let's just take a look at what we're dealing with here. So this is the data for Mayrich. All right, so I'm just going to take all of this and we're just going to place that into the decision maker chart. And I'm just going to run a few filters on this to make it easier to go through the data and extract. Right, so we just take a look at this, just filtering out a few things so that once I have the data itself, I can make easier decisions. All right, let's see. Okay. So now we're left with a few different products here that we have, and I'll just make sure to, there we go, yeah, order them from most revenue to the least revenue. So, and here is obviously the product code table that we have here. So now let's go to the extract UPC code, and this is one area where I'm having issues. And so what I'm going to do is, as you put through, get the unique ASIN, and it pulled the ASINs from the sheet, as I can see. Great job on that again. Now I'm going to click on find UPC code, and I believe it's now running the macro. Opens up Internet Explorer, and it's found a true check on the match. But as you can see, that's where it stops. It finds the ASIN, but the UPC is not pulled, unfortunately. So it found it definitely did find it, but um, okay, X out of that. Sorry. But what it did is it stopped at this point here and didn't pull the UPC back into the spreadsheet. As you can see, sorry. As you can see, I'm looking around here and there was no UPC pulled back in. If I go back even into this sheet here, there unfortunately is no UPC code found. I'm going to try that again with another one, another item. All right, so I'll find the UPC code. And again, it's true that there is a matching UPC, but unfortunately it doesn't pull the UPC back in with the browser I'm using, which seems to be odd. All right. The item code works, obviously it can, so now we go to the item codes. I'm just going to find the item code, and what it's doing now is it pulls in the item code. It takes a little longer with this one. And the item code just got pulled back into the spreadsheet. All right, there we go. So that's the only issue I'm having now. As far as the looping through the rows function, I think that just might be my drivers and their inability to go through. If I loop through the rows, let's just make this easy. So I'm going to, let's see, let's limit this data even more. Let's say no net under So we have one, two, let's see, let's get even more thorough here. Let's just, I think we have maybe 20 items or something like that. And now when we go get unique Amazon URL, so we're resetting this data, so that's only that many. Now if I loop through the rows, it should work. I think the one thing is that I've noticed that over time, possibly it's just something having to do with my computer, that my computer tends to be more likely to freeze during the looping process. It works. The looping process does work. As you can see, it just found the first match check, right? And it is pulling them. It's a timely process, but it is pulling the uh, the product codes. But I guess specific to my machine, perhaps it would make sense to limit it to say 10 or so every time. I mean, we could keep the loops as they are. No biggie to me, honestly. The sheet works perfectly fine. I think the biggest issue for me is extracting the UPC code and just making sure we can actually pull that back into the spreadsheet itself. All right.